So let's move to our requests. So inside the requests folder, so we have here add attendance. So here let's change it to true, and we need to add roles. So the first field is the employee ID, and we need it to be required and also exists inside the employees table, and we want the ID. So next, what we have? So we have the second field, which is the dates, and date is required and needs to be date. And next, we have the check in, and also it's so the check in. So I think let's move to the table, which is the attendance, the check in. So the check-in and check-out, so they are required. Okay, so so check-in is required and needs to be date format, and we need it to be, or we need to get only the hours and the minutes. Okay, so the date format using this format, which is hour and so the hour and the minutes. So the time will be like this. So you'll validate the data to be like this. For example, 14:30. Okay. And we need another field, which is the checkout. So check out. And this field is also required, and same thing. So the date format needs to be hours and minutes. And also we need it to be after or equal to the check-in. So we don't need the checkout to be before the check-in. Okay, so it needs to be after or equal. So for example, if we have here 14:30, so here for the checkout, so we need to have, for example, 15. Okay, so not 12, for example. Okay, so this is the meaning of this code. So let's check again. So you have employee ID, as I said, it's required, exists inside employees table, and we need the ID. So the date required needs to be date, check-in required and needs to be date, or the date format needs to be like this. So we need hours and the minutes, and also checkout required, and we need its date format, we need it using hours and minutes. Okay, and the checkout needs to be equal or after the check-in. Okay, so this is the first validation file for adding. Next we have for updates, and so here let's change it to true, and let's also paste here. So for the employee ID, so it's required, and also for date it's required, and for the check-in and the checkout, so it's the same thing. So you need them to be required. So I think that's all. So we use the same thing for the add and the update. So next we need to add the routes. So let's move to our web.php file. So here we have the first route, which is employees. So let's change it here from employees to attendances. And we need the controller that we have created, which is the attendance controller. So don't forget to import it here. So inside attendance controller, so we don't use the show method, so we can here add except and we provide the method that we don't need to use or we don't use, which is show. Okay, so we use all the methods except show method. Okay, so now we are done with the validation rules and also with the routes. So now we need to move to our sidebar. So let's add first attendances here with the icon, and later we add new attendance. So here we have attendances, and for the route, so it's attendances dot index, and here we have the user. So let's change it to calendar dash days. So save, let's refresh and see what we have here. So if we refresh, so we have an error here. So the route attendances dot index not defined. So if you face this kind of problems, so just run PHP artisan. So you can use optimize to clear everything and rebuild our project. Let's clear everything. So now we are done. Let's refresh the page. So now it will work. So sometimes that's just the cache problem. So as you can see, now we have attendances with the icon. Okay, so if we click, so we will not, so we'll get an error because we don't have the attendances folder yet. So let's copy and paste this folder and change the name from employees to attendances, and now we can update. So before we update this file, let's try to create first a new attendance, and later we display the attendances like we have done with the employees.